Disruption is bound to happen no matter what. There is a reason why a robot makes cars. A human being doesn't have the capacity to produce 1,000 cars a day. Embrace technology, disrupt yourself, get out of your comfort zone.
Disrupt yourself or be disrupted with Nicky, a kick-ass author, international keynote speaker, digital knowledge amplifier, and a voice for those who yearn to reinvent themselves. Disrupting yourself is the key to progress and growth in the world of disruptive technologies.
Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Disrupt Yourself or Be Disrupted. We have been waiting for this moment for so long. For those of you who know me, you know that I am an author of the book titled Disrupt Yourself or Be Disrupted. And so we decided to take this book to another level. So this is the extension of the conversation from pages to podcast. We want people to have as much value out of this as possible. So for those who were unable to read the book, now this is your opportunity. And in this very first episode, I thought there is no better guest to have than the one and only John Lombela. He is an entrepreneur, a technology entrepreneur to be specific. He's a global speaker and he works in fintech and blockchain technology. But for today, we are not going to touch on all of his accolades. We'll focus more on disruptive thinking, which he is the best person to have this conversation with. Actually, we talk on new beginnings in life, new beginnings in technology, new beginnings in business. And he has walked this journey. He has started and broken things along the way. So, Mr. John Lombela, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Nicky Verd. It is my pleasure really to be here on the podcast, and I appreciate you thinking about me for this very first episode. What a privilege, really, to be part of this amazing journey. I love conversations that are there to empower people around the world, and I hope that through this conversation today, we are going to unpack a ton of value and help the audience not only understand who we are behind the scenes, and also feed into them the everything that really helped us to start in our journeys and in different areas, in different cycles about our journey. And I look forward to having a fantastic conversation, Nicky.
Fantastic. So, to get things started off, when we talk of new beginnings, what comes to mind for you?
Wow. New beginnings for me is all about opportunities, right? I mean, look, we're born, first of all, we start crawling, we start walking, and eventually we grow up and we go to school and we finish high school, matric or whatever, and we go to university. But from that point on, new beginnings for me is about what is that next step? We've gone from being a kid to being an adult.
Yeah.
And now we are just about to embrace the world. And the world is very, very, unapologetic these days, especially these kids who are being born today. I fear for them, like seriously. It's every single time in our cycles, it's different situation, different scenarios.
Yeah. Our
parents didn't have it the same way that we're having right now. Yeah. And we are having it harder than them.
Yeah.
And I actually even wonder, in the world of TikTok and Instagram and so forth, what our kids are going to be and their kids.
Yeah.
So when I look at new beginnings, it's about the opportunities, the dreams, the visions, the confidence of being able to do what we believe we are so convinced to do, that I do believe that God is planted in our heart. And how do we now take on those particular elements and transcend into another space?
Yeah.
So you leave university, you go and start a job. Now, when you are a job, new beginnings into 2 years or 3 years down the line could be, hey, you know what? How do I climb that ladder for me to become a CEO of the same company that I hired me? Or, hey, I'm tired of this place, but how do I actually go out there and start my own business? As an entrepreneur, how do I? So for me, and I knew, and I remember when I left university and I went to my first job, new beginnings for me at that time was already, how do I start my business?
Yeah.
But you know why? Because I felt that every single thing that I was actually doing at that job, which by the way was a small company, and I'm very, very appreciative of the opportunity that these guys gave me.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? every single thing that I'm doing right now for this company and all these clients, this is me. And,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
bringing in a lot of money for this company through the
Yeah,
work that I'm doing,
yeah, yeah.
right? And I wanted more challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted more challenges. I was like, you know what? If these guys cannot give me what I'm asking of them, well, then I'm going to step out.
New beginnings.
New beginnings. But before I made that decision, I transcended into moving from that company
Yeah.
to the next company and eventually the next company in corporate ladder, in the corporate world.
Yeah.
But still, I knew deep down inside of me that I wanted to become an entrepreneur. And that to me was the most amazing thing. Also very scary.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Very scary. I had to think about it very, very, very hard. But the kind of person that I am made me realize that that was the path. And since I've taken that path, I've never looked back. And of course, throughout this conversation, I'll tell you exactly about the highs and the lows and setbacks and the many more opportunities that groomed me into becoming the person that I am today. And I am so fortunate to be here and in this podcast and being able to share my journey with you, Nick.
Fantastic. You know, when you mentioned of leaving university and getting a job or being an employee, it reminded me of a conversation I heard when people were talking about how sometimes employees are demanding more pay
Right.
without actually increasing any value to themselves in terms of upskilling themselves or in terms of gaining anything new. So you see people protesting, you know, I've been working here for 2 years, I've been working here for 3 years, I haven't had any promotion or any increase in my salary. And so the other person was responding, and he said something quite brilliant that I've never really thought about.
Yeah.
He said, don't demand for more when you haven't improved yourself.
That's it.
So for the 2 years you have been there, what new step have you taken different?
You know, listen, here's what I do believe. Excuse me, whether we are at university or whether we are an entrepreneur or even working for a corporate, never stop learning.
Absolutely.
Never stop learning. We learn constantly and we learn every single day.
Disrupting yourself or you'll be disrupted because there's no neutral ground though.
Right.
You can last in that place of comfort that is sort of eating you slowly in, even though you may have the money, you're not going hungry, you're not homeless, but you just know that there's something lacking inside of you. And I don't think anybody wants to be in that place. So it's necessary for you to get up at some point. I tell people when I write a book, I'm like, I wanted people to think. I wanted this book to force people to think. So even when you just see the title it forces you to think like, disrupt yourself or disrupt your life. Oh, okay. Okay, so hence the podcast, I want it to have the same effect where it causes people to think as soon as you come across disrupt yourself or be disrupted podcast, you're like, okay, am I disrupting myself? For how long have I been in this position? Maybe you're on top of the mountain or maybe you're in the valley. There is always room for improvement. So there's never a time where you're like, I have arrived.
Right.
That's dangerous to have that type of mindset. And
the moment you do, you're dead.
Absolutely. So another important point when it comes to new beginning is for people to understand that a fresh start is not a place. When they talk of wanting a fresh start, they're thinking of maybe I need to relocate, I need to move to another city, maybe another country, or whatever. But a fresh start, the most important part about a fresh start and new beginning is mindset.
That's where it all starts in the mind.
Absolutely. So without the right mindset, you can move to the US.
Right.
Nothing is going to change.
Nothing's going. In fact, you can
move to
anywhere
France.
around the world. You will still be stuck
Nothing is
in
going to
your
change.
And your mind is the biggest thing that can imprison you.
Absolutely.
Or it can liberate you free.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you don't disrupt yourself in that.
Yeah.
Listen, I've gone through your book, and first of all, for somebody who's not from a technology background, I am so impressed by what you've been able to put together.
Thank you.
Honestly speaking, I mean, and it's only now that I realized the importance of your book.
Oh, people tell me that. They're like, Nicky, did you see into the future? I wish I did.
Like ChatGPT, for example, alone.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
Reminds me so much about what you wrote in the book.
Yeah, yeah.
But you've been such a great advocate of the 4IR.
Yeah.
Look, everybody forgotten about the 4IR, but they still don't understand that what we are going through today are elements
Building
that
on
are
that.
part of that fourth industrial
Absolutely.
revolution, right? It's not only AI, it's robotics, it's blockchain technology, it's mobility, it's 3D printing. It's a whole bunch of things, a beautiful thing that you wrote.
Yeah.
And for you to go out there and do research, girl, come on. Like, I wish I'd be the one running the damn book. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you did the
I
book.
think maybe you would have done a better job than me. You've worked in tech all your life.
It had to come from you. That's what it is. It had to come from you. That was your purpose. That was your mission.
Let me tell you a quick story. Recently, I reached out to a couple of radio stations to carry on the conversations around technology, especially around ChatGPT, right? And this a radio station that, okay, they just say, hey, Nicky, yeah, we've seen what you do. We've checked your profile. Come on board. We'll have a conversation, right? And we had the conversation. But there's a particular radio station that they replied the email and they said, send us your profile. I sent the profile. I think they didn't see what they were looking for. So they asked me, what is your qualification? I was like, wow, no, does someone ask me that? So I'm like, okay, really, but what is my qualification? And I'm asking myself, what qualifies me to write this? And really, no. So I responded back and I told them, I am self-taught. My qualification is self-taught. I don't have a technology background. I'm not from an IT background and all of that. But you know what? They were not quite keen or would I say convinced, even though I've sent out my whole profile and all of that, which brought me to another thinking, like how many people still have this mindset of what is your qualification rather than the value someone is bringing to the table, right? And even though the producer responded and was clear, like, okay, let's do some sort of like a test recording. If we are happy with it, we'll share it. If not, we'll let it go. So I felt like this is a waste of time for both of us, right? You sound like you don't trust what I have to say. So I did not respond to that email. I did not carry the conversation forward. But it taught me a lesson that there are still a lot of people who are hung on qualifications rather than really looking at what is the value this person is bringing to the table. A
lot of people think that the best education is what you get from school. A lot of people think that the best education is what you get from school, and it's part of your, the qualifications of that you've acquired, that you've attended school, make you who you are for achieving certain things. And I think that is the most dangerous place. I know people with PhDs who are absolutely brainless.
Of course.
I know people with MBAs who suck at businesses. I know people with so much experience, like with 2, 3, 4 degrees, who know nothing about entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
So for me, education is not just about schooling. That contributes to what you know, but education is everything. But it all starts from home.
Absolutely.
How you were brought up, the environment you grow into. When you go to school, your friends around, when you're out of school, when you are at work, when you're out of work, your surrounding, your environment, your own learning, every single thing that you do contribute towards education.
Absolutely.
And even if you don't go to school and you don't have a doctorate degree, it doesn't mean that you cannot be self-taught. There is a lot of autodidacts out there that I know who are doing exceedingly well and better than those who have actually gone to school. In fact, here's the thing. Me as an entrepreneur, I like to think about Donald Trump. And he said one thing one day. He said, listen, as a great entrepreneur, what you need to do is hire the best people with the best qualification, watch them do their job, pay them well, and you're running a successful business. And I think it was really uncalled for from that lady or that those guys who reach out to you and say, hey, listen, what qualification do you have? First of all, they've been impressed by your book. They've been impressed by the press it's getting, and the fact that you've had so many speaking gigs than I've had. You've been paid for them gigs. I've never been paid for them gigs.
Come on. There are certain people that, in spite of all of that, because when I send my profile on my website, I expect that should be able to sell, me without show rather than tell, right? So if you go through all of that and you still like, I need to see her qualification, it therefore means that I just felt like it was a mismatch. The conversation was not going to go properly. And also, they were not sure if they will share it on their platform or not. Secondly, it was supposed to be an interview, but because they were not quite convinced they sort of like, we're going to pre-record it,
So uncalled for.
Exactly. So, but nonetheless, there are still people like that. And like you mentioned, education does not only happen in school. That's something that I also stress very much in the book, Disrupt Yourself or Be Disrupted. Actually, it's in chapter 9 of the book. Schooling is not education. But there are a lot of people that still think that once you come out of school and you have a certificate, then you are qualified. There are a lot of people that have maybe a certificate in IT.
Right.
It could have even been 5 years from
Right.
I don't know, 5 years, 10 years, or maybe even recently.
Right.
But they are not up to date with the real world of what is happening in the tech world.
Yeah.
They're taking knowledge from school that some of it is obsolete.
Right.
Because the school, let's be honest, the school is yet to catch up with the real world.
They have to catch up to a lot of things. And of course,
In
I know
terms
we are
of
going to get it.
curriculum, in terms of
Outdated.
knowledge, in terms of all of this. So if you are going to take someone with an IT certification from some university, not like those things are not important, you need to ask yourself, how current is this information? Is this information that they taught people 10 years ago that they're still teaching people now? Then someone who is actually learning in a field is more qualified than someone coming out of college.
That's it.
With knowledge that was used 10 years ago. Systems are changing very fast.
Yep.
The world is changing so fast. So if you're going to base knowledge, okay, I could have gone to school in IT in the year 2000.
Right.
Assuming. And then if you ask me for my qualification and I brought an IT certification from 2000, will you then be like, oh, she's qualified? You know what I mean? That's outdated.
I think the best qualification is what we do on the ground, working on real project, delivering real results that are impacting the world, the businesses, the people, and anything like that. That's the right qualification to me. That is worthy of conversation and say, you know what? Okay. In fact, when I engage people and I want them to be part of my team, I don't look at I may know of their qualification, but that's not the decision making process for me.
Absolutely.
I don't care about whether you've got an MBA. In fact, I don't care about that. I know where I will need the MBA guys or the PhD guys. I want to know whether, first of all, you have an entrepreneurial mindset. How quick can you think and adapt and adjust to the realities of the businesses that we are running and where we are, right?
Yeah.
Are you quick at adapting to technology?
Yeah.
Are you quick at understanding exactly what is going on with my customer or the business, that you can think on, what do we say? We can think on top of your toes.
Absolutely, be proactive
and implement solutions right now very quickly, right? It doesn't require you to have an MBA. It requires you to have that thinking ability, that mindset. That's why I say everything is in here.
It's in the mind.
Your ability to be able to catch up to new things, to change and say, you know what, let me take that and implement this. I understand where these guys are going. I will use my MBA background and my qualification experiences, but to blend it in the realities of what's happening on the ground, on the field.
Absolutely.
Then that's what I go for. And I listen to that, right? And I take it from, because we're a startup, I'm like, I don't want people who are policy driven. I need people who are disruptors.
Absolutely.
So we can disrupt
mindset.
the status quo.
Yeah.
That's what a startup company and entrepreneur is all about. Let us disrupt what has been working for so long that we do believe needs change.
Absolutely.
Now, once we've established market fit and everybody love what we are doing, now let's come up with policies. Let's write procedures around it. Let's help now so that we can now establish something better. And second, find, you know what? We did it this way. We've tested so many of these things over time. Now this is what works. Put it in the book.
Absolutely.
Put it in policies.
Absolutely.
So that the next generation can pick up from there. And we still will be disrupted by the future generation.
Absolutely. Speaking on the type of people you would employ, that's really brilliant. It reminds me of a story I heard from one of the top CEOs as well. So she said, when they conduct an interview, one of the key questions they ask, what have you learned recently?
Right. That's amazing.
This is what they're looking for.
Yeah.
They don't care if what you learned recently had anything to do with your field.
Right.
They don't care if you learn to play soccer, if you learn to cook, if you learn to bake a new recipe, it just had to be something new you learn. Yeah. And this is what they're looking for, the mindset of learning.
And I want to add to that, and sometimes that learning comes from failure.
Yeah.
It comes from, oh, wow, okay. Because you can only improve upon something that didn't work. If something is working, it is working.
Yeah.
But if whatever is working has got some issues around that need to be adjusted, what have you learned?
Yeah.
What is the new thing you've learned?
Yeah.
And how can you apply that to this environment? How can you bring that new, fresh knowledge and empower the people within this organization so that they can think like you, they can level up, they can get out of the environment of comfortability.
To get them out. So what do you have to say to people that are still resistant to change, to technological advancement, to technological evolution? I posted something on, before you answer, I posted something on social media a few weeks ago around artificial intelligence, Not necessarily directly about ChatGPT, but I was talking about how artificial intelligence is an opportunity for us to augment our creativity, to embrace it, do more new things with it. And then someone responded and said, he doesn't like it when Africans are jumping on these new things from the Western world as though we should now embrace technology. I'm like, when did this become an African thing or a Western thing or a European thing? We're talking about technology that is that is disrupting everything. You embrace it or you get left behind. And mind you, this person used a phone to respond to whatever I posted on social media. He is already dealing with technological change, but he doesn't even realize it. So what message do you have for these people that are still resistant to change when it comes to technology?
Here's the thing. There's always going to be 3 types of people in the world when it comes to disruption. Disruption is bound to happen no matter what, in every sector, whether it is technology. In fact, technology is always at the forefront, oftentimes. These 3 people are, the first one is the one who embraces, he's like, with both feet, he jumps on. He's like, oh, wow, this is interesting. I like it. I want to try it.
Early adopters.
These guys are, hey, listen, this is pretty cool. I want to try it, and they learn on the go. And they learn on the go. They learn to like it or they learn to hate it. It's like a kid, a baby, right? A baby jumps on both feet. He doesn't know what's the outcome until he gets the outcome. Puts his hand on the fire, burns. I'll never do it again. Put some food in his mouth. This is too, sour. I don't think I like it. Oh, wow. No, that's sweet. I want that more. I want that one. Right? So until you try, you can never understand the full power of something just by looking at it, by sitting on the bench. The second category of people are, okay, well, it also depends on where they are in their own personal lives, okay? Either they are at a place whereby it's comfortable for them. Yes, they are looking at opportunities to try a couple of other things, but they want to learn from the early adopters. And as they want to learn from the early adopters, they're like, okay, fine. Please tell me what you've learned so that I can also try. If I don't like the sound of what you're telling me, then you know what? I'm not ready to try yet. But I'm not discounting it. I'm like, you know what? I want to try it. I want to go for it. But it's probably not the time for them right now. And then you have the late adopters. The late adopters are just like the guy who just described. From the onset, he doesn't like it. In fact, here's the thing. You bring foods to him. He's never tried it before. He looks at it like, no, I don't like it. How do you know you don't like it? How do you know you don't like that food? You haven't even tried it yet, right? Just by looking at it? You haven't tried it?
I don't want to try it.
So you see, their perceptions, that is a way of their ability to grow and expand upon where they are right now. Because they're so really comfortable. In fact, when it comes to technology, everybody's like, no, I don't like the technology because, you see, they are thinking about what to protect now. Thinking that technology is going to take it away from them. But what they don't realize is that if somebody masters that technology, they will actually leave their job to give it to that person. That's how they will lose their job. What people need to do, my advice is the following, to everybody who, whether it is ChatGPT or AI or any type of AI, whether you're a creative director, whether you are a marketer, whether you are a software developer, use technology to improve on your existing abilities. Because there's a reason why a robot makes cars. Because a human being doesn't have the capacity to produce 1,000 cars a day. He knows how to pull the car together, but if you give it to him to put the car together manually, he will produce 1,000 cars every 10 years.
That's so fantastic.
use technology, in this case, the robot, to produce 1,000 cars a day. But you are the one that controls the robot, because the robot is never going to control you. This is just the reality.
Absolutely.
Robot will never control you. So embrace technology. If you're a creative director, 10x or 100x your creativity by using tools like Midjourney. Midjourney will allow you to generate images. Sometimes creativity, we're sitting there, we think, it's like, oh, how can I do this? But if you prompt, you know what you want to do. Prompt the AI by giving him context and text to produce to you some basic layers of images. Upon these images, maybe now you will go beyond the AI's ability to think by bringing in your own creativity so that you can actually 10x and be better. If you're a marketer, avoid spending hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year to copywriters who will actually spend, for example, you hire a copywriter. It's like, hey, listen, you only have the ability to revise this thing twice. Because guess what? The copywriter is oftentimes a freelancer. He spends a lot of time, a lot of his own time to work on 2 or 3 projects max. He can't do more than that. Gets paid for it. Great. Charges you a lot. What it says to you, I will produce the first content. You have the ability to only review that twice. You know why? He spends time. He has to sit in front of a computer. He has to think to produce that content. Now, you revise it 3 times, you still don't have the ability, you still don't have what you want. Okay? Now, you've paid him tens of thousands of dollars, and guess what? You don't have the output that you want, and you are constrained based on the contract to get what he has produced. So what you need to do is the following. Help the content creator by providing to him some basic context. Use some AI, use ChatGPT, use copy.ai, for example, as somebody who wants to produce some very good copy, blog or whatever. Say, listen, I want you to talk about this. I'm going to help you. This is how I want it. Now, he will use his human emotions and a variety of other things that the AI doesn't have. To be able to come up with something that will 10x productivity. Therefore, you would have collaboratively worked both with the tool, the AI, the copywriter, and with yourself to produce content that you want and you feel like you're comfortable to pay. When you pay that, you pay, yes, this is the output that I wanted, okay?
Let me key in on that collaboration part. And you mentioned something earlier on quite, that was really profound, about the people that are resistant to technological change are looking at protecting what they have now.
They're looking at protecting what they have.
They are not looking at how they can use the new technology to multiply what they have. They just want to protect what they have.
Nicky.
I mean, that is so profound, and I would like you to expand on really that topic for people to see the potential here, rather than what it doesn't make sense to protect, let's say, $1,000 or whatever, or 1,000 rands.
If you could make, for example, 10,000.
Thank you. So it doesn't make sense, right? So how do people, whether they are employed or self-employed or running a business or in leadership positions, instead of being so protective of what they have, be more focused on, okay, I'm going to use this new technology to advance, to multiply what I have, rather than, because I think that's a key mind shift that is needed. Because one of the main things when it comes to technology, people focus more on the tech without focusing on the mindset. Every time new tech comes into the marketplace, we need a new mindset, which then speaks again, new beginnings, fresh start.
I'm going to give you real life hands-on experience.
Fantastic.
I've been an entrepreneur for the last 15 years since I ran my company. But I've been a software developer for the last 17 years or plus. And I remember when I was a freelancer guy, 2006, this big company, making big numbers. I think the owner inherited his business from his parents. They're here in Ilovo. The business exists today. They produce media, magazines, editorials, whatever, for the transport and tourism industry. Okay? Now, the CEO of the company, I believe he's very old now, and I think his son has actually taken over. Speaking of son, I think I need to go and visit this guy. So, Now, they were so successful,
Yeah.
and they still are successful. They're unique in their industry, in their niche,
Yeah.
that the CEO of the owner of the business knew he wanted CRM.
Yeah.
CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management.
Yeah.
It's a tool to help salespeople automate their processes and to make their businesses, the process more efficient so that the companies can actually increase their revenues. Okay? If you do something like this, a tool can automate your process, your mundane tasks by 85% or 95%, so you can focus on closing deals.
Yeah.
This guy had, his sales force was made only of women. So somebody would be responsible for this magazine, the other all of them in tourism.
Yeah.
But each one had, for example, have you ever noticed when you go to hotels? In hotels, you will see, for example, there's this small menu. They call them a la carte.
Yeah.
Small menus sitting somewhere.
Yeah.
They'll tell you, this for example talks to you about a getaway somewhere. This talks to you about travel somewhere, right? They're the guys who produce that.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
They're the guys who actually produce.
I've seen those
products.
what you're explaining
Yes.
at the convention center.
There you go.
Yes.
They do that exactly,
Yes.
right? But that's like one product out of many. Now, these ladies were at the top of the game with no systems. Think about it first.
Yeah.
With no systems. So imagine now you go to a lady who is at, in fact, within 2 weeks in every month, she's already achieved the target.
Yeah.
If her target is like, you know what, you need to bring me 5 million rand every single month, in 2 weeks, working from home, she's already made her target. And she knows her commission over and above her salary. How do you convince this person to adopt a new tool that your CEO wants to implement in the business? The only way you actually go and help these people adjust and adapt is if I'm a tech guy.
Yeah.
When I speak to customers, I don't talk about the technology.
Yeah. The mindset.
I mean, why? Technology changes every year.
Yeah.
Now it changes every 6 months. I don't talk about the technology.
Yeah.
I look at the output, the benefit that you will get from me implementing my services. When I say my services, it's a combination of technology, my consulting approach, and me wanting to help you change your mindset, improve your businesses, see where your weaknesses are, so I can improve them from the outside.
Absolutely.
Because you yourself, if you know that within 2 weeks you've reached your target, everything is perfect for you. But I'm coming and tell you, listen, what if you could do what you do in 2 weeks? What if you could close 5 times more, still within 2 weeks? And the rest of the 2 weeks, you enjoy with family, you travel the world. So I want to come with new teasers, new opportunities. Say, listen, you're already doing this, great. I'm going to help improve what you're doing so that you can earn more.
Yeah.
Improve your bottom line.
Wow.
And bring more top line into the business. So the CEO can actually be. Can you imagine? The CEO had even put a mechanism to pay the people to use the software with vouchers. He said, no, you know what? We are going to encourage them with vouchers and 2,000 rand vouchers. I'm like, what the heck? You're spoiling your people.
So this speaks to looking at the value the new technology will give you.
Look at the value.
Instead of fighting to protect what you currently have.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Look at the value. Because you know what? If somebody else comes in into that company and shows the boss that, listen, I used to use these systems. They helped me to achieve my goals. By using my systems, I'm able to make 4 of your salespeople's monthly target within the first week or the first 2 weeks. They'll be like, how do you do that? Well, look, I use this system, I'm able to do this, I'm able to do that, and whatever. And I can run my business from anywhere around the world. Then the boss will be like, oh, wow, this is fantastic. Now, you see, if one person uses systems to bring in revenue of 4 people who are comfortable at doing that, the CEO then will be like, no, you know what, I think you were right. I know what I'm going to do. In 3 months, I'm going to lay off these people, and I'll pay them their laying off packages or whatever, because they're taking way too much out of me and they don't want to improve. I'd rather have one person take the job of four people. One person. Now, the next thing would be, how do I multiply these people?
Absolutely. That speaks to organizations, companies,
Right.
you know. But how do we convince, or I don't know if convince is the right word, but how do we convince those that are not necessarily in organizations or employees or top bosses, but just an everyday person,
It could be a self-starter. It could be a self-employed. It could be just an everyday guy.
Because then the conversation shifts, right?
Right.
You're not looking now at the monthly target and things like that.
Right.
So these are some of the people that are most resistant to change, the people on the ground, some that are actually unemployed.
Right.
How do we let them know, actually, these new technologies can add value to your own life? In what way? Do you have like a real life example in that regard?
You know,
I have my opinions about it, though.
But if I were to look at me as an individual, right?
Yeah.
I'll give me as an individual, not both as an entrepreneur, and to advance the work that I am doing, as an individual, right? And the same could apply to anybody else, whether you're working, whether you're just somebody, whatever. You know, I remember every single time that I went to see a client, especially as a freelancer.
Yeah.
I see a client, we agree to talk about something. I come back. The next thing that I have to do is to put together a proposal of an average of 10, 15 pages.
Oh, yeah. Takes hours.
You got to find inspiration. You got to talk about this, talk about that. And eventually, that takes hours.
I know. As a writer, I know what that feels like.
Like, it took me 2-3 days to just put together a proposal.
Yeah, and that's the first draft.
So, when I found ChatGPT, this thing is so powerful.
It is.
Now I'm able to produce a proposal less than an hour. I already have my format in terms of how I want to format it or whatever. So I'll say, fine, you know what? I want to see a client. The name of the client is this. Works for this company. We talked about these points. Because in the meeting I was taking notes. He wants this, he wants that, he wants that. We are in the business of doing this. How can I produce a proposal for him? Done. I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. Fine. So can we tweak this? Can we add this? Can we that? Because you see, now I'm interacting with the machine. It gives me something to work with, but I am perfecting it to get what I want. That's how, as an individual first, to fulfill my work, it helps me. Faster. Because now I reduce from 3 days to 3 hours in producing something, so I can send it to him and say, wow, I like this output. Yes, we work together, but it was my intelligence to get you to where I want you to be for me. And I think everybody needs to use the same approach, you know, to better yourselves, especially for individuals, okay? If you are a freelancer, use tools to help you advance faster. And you still will be able to utilize the skills and the computers or whatever that is that you know how to use to make it better. Don't just take it for granted. Don't just take the output. Take that output, fine-tune it to match your needs. That's exactly what it is. If you don't do that, somebody else is going to do it and will be 10 times faster than you. So make use of both the technology, AI, to help you advance on your ability to improve your productivity. That's all what it's all about. AI is not going to write the prompt itself.
Absolutely.
AI is not going to know what is in your mind, your brain, what you want to produce. It will not say, okay, fine, now Nicky wants to do a podcast. Let me tap Nicky's questions. But if Nicky doesn't ask it to ask it questions, it will not write by itself.
Never. That's it. So that is quite an important key, you know, for how individuals. I think prompting needs its own special segment of this podcast.
In bracket, that's it. That's something so big that I'm doing research on, because the better prompt. Now there are jobs like prompt engineer. I found this job, prompt engineer, where it pays $300,000 a year in California.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Now, think about it. That prompt engineer is going to replace 10 jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you guys don't want to learn about
They don't want to learn
AI.
So ChatGPT has literally brought in a new type of work from prompt engineering, right? And like I said, this particular topic on prompting needs an entire segment to unpack it for many people to understand how to interact with artificial intelligence platform. And I personally believe that this is going to be one of the main skills in future, learning how to
prompt, to engage with
to an AI, because that's what prompting means. For those who don't understand, when we say prompting means your ability to talk to that AI, your ability to talk to an AI system, communicate with a machine, because it doesn't get into your head. You have to spit something into that computer system for it to give you what you want. And that is quite a skill. As we carry on with the podcast, we're going to have segments where we talk about this more detailedly. But I felt that needed to be touched on for now, because there are a lot of people so resistant with ChatGPT. No, we don't need this, not just ChatGPT, many technologies. And I'm reminded of an event that I had in Nairobi. When I finished speaking, I've told the story so many times. There was a young person in the room who put up the hand and said, "No, Nicky, we don't need these technologies in Africa." Like, you will be so amazed how many people are so resistant. They feel like
technology
this is not
will
for
develop
Africa.
Africa's economy.
Thank you.
To be quite honest.
And I used the 3D printing example, and I was like, would you rather have 3D print new, let's say for South Africa, RDP houses? Maybe 10 of them in a day, maybe more than that in a day. Or you rather use spades and shovels and sticks and axes to dig up the foundation, do all of that manually. Which one is faster? Because the argument is that, no, we are still in the third industrial revolution. We don't need all of this. Well, you have a point there. But with new technologies, I think that we can advance the continent faster than depending on old systems, right? So we should stop the idea of, I think one of the key takeaways from this conversation for me today would be, we should stop protecting what we have. And look at how we can use technology to advance what we currently have. Whether you are unemployed, technology offers you a platform to create something for yourself. Because a lot of people are focusing more on jobs. And I get it. I understand the despair of not knowing whether you will have a job or not. I understand even when you have a job and you're not sure if it's going to stick around. Look at what is happening in the tech industry today. Thousands and thousands of people recently have been laid off. It continues. Just that it's not in the headlines anymore. It's not over yet. Like, there are still companies laying off people as we speak. So it's a scary time to be alive. But nonetheless, there are threats, there are opportunities. And every time there is disruption, there is also an opportunity within these two. So it's never just disruption without an opportunity.
That's correct.
So instead of allowing fear to rule you and drive you, don't focus on the threats, which is something I mentioned in the book. Focus on the opportunities.
Got you.
Focus on the threat, you will never be able to see opportunities. No, because your attention is on one thing. Where attention is, it's what you will see. So if you let go of looking at the threats and start focusing on the opportunities, there will be something in the digital space that you can build on yourself. If we look, for example, today, how many people are making money? Let me not use the word making money, making a living off YouTube, of Instagram, of these technological platforms, So you can also plug yourself in those systems and be like, okay, what can I do? Instead of waiting for unemployment, right? So, and there's so much that we can do. You can become a freelancer. You can learn prompt engineering, be inside those that are starting out now, and be able to, instead of working as a freelancer for 2 people or 2 clients, you can work for 10 clients with the help of prompting, better prompting.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So those are opportunities.
You learn about that skill, man. You learn about this skill. Listen. The economy is so bad. That you can put your skills, your talent, what you know, to good use. Go and register, for example, on Upwork or on Fiverr or on freelancer.com or whatever, many of these platforms, and start offering your services. Now, you can actually get many people who want to work with you, and guess what? 10x your job by working with these AI tools very quickly. Those guys will be able to say, wow, I'm getting my job like in no time. But you know what? You're getting paid. You're getting paid now 10 times more by 10 clients as opposed to spending time. And you're a freelancer. That's the advantage. You don't have to work. If you don't find a job, go freelance. But use AI to fast track your job even better. You will become a solopreneur, highly successful. I know a story of a guy who he's in America. He could not find any jobs anymore, and he was tired of working for corporate. But he built his personal branding on LinkedIn and reached over a million followers, I think, or more than 500,000 followers. He's a solopreneur today. This guy is generating over $1 million.
Creating an audience is powerful.
Over $1 million.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have to sweat for it anymore. No, but he spent time. He put in effort and work. That dedication, right? Get out of your comfort zone. Do that for 2 years, for 1 year, for 18 months, for 6 months, consistently so. Okay? Get your word out there. That will give you the ability to start generating more income.
Yeah.
And to live the life of your design. So fear not. Embrace technology. Disrupt yourself. Get out of your comfort zone. Make sure that you are the person who identify everything that's wrong around your surrounding, because everything is wrong with it.
Yep.
Your house is wrong. Your couch is wrong. Your car is not the car that you want. And all you do is spending time with the 5 laziest guys who don't see opportunities in you to make you realize the potential you have to disrupt and be the better person. You know, if you spend time with the 5 laziest guy, the only thing that makes you is the 6th laziest person.
Absolutely.
So that comfort zone is so poisonous that, you know what? One of the reasons why you feel like you're terrible every single day, because the 5 lazy guys are there spending time with you, drinking all the time. In fact, the money that you make is for you to go and booze and partying and all that kind of stuff. And you don't realize that, you know what? You need to build a better life for you. You need to invest well for you early on. You need to save money for you. When you start having kids, you need to put them to good schools, and you need to start traveling as well and avoid spending time behind the office every single time. Go out there, but you cannot travel today because you are in your comfort zone. We as black people often say, you know what? We don't have the time to enjoy. We don't have the time to travel like white folks do. But listen, that's because you don't want to explore traveling.
Yeah.
You don't want to explore traveling because you are so trapped in the comfort zone.
I think one of my favorite quotes also is from Alvin Toffler. He said the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot unlearn, relearn, and continuously adapt and learn. So, and there are people out there like that they feel that what they learned in school 10 years ago is going to serve them for a lifetime, but that era is over. You know, in the days of our parents, maybe if they came out from school with a particular certificate, it was they didn't even need to go back.
Look, those guys spent like 30 years in a company.
In one company, you know.
Like one freaking company. So they didn't know about
that time is
trying
gone.
anything else. That time
and
is
we
gone.
need to accept it, that era is long gone. We are now in an era where we are constantly changing. Even if you're not willing to change, technology will force you to change. Last year, did we know, this time last year, did we know we needed ChatGPT?
Nobody knew.
We didn't.
I didn't even know about Chat. I didn't even know about, well, I knew about OpenAI, but I wasn't really.
Exactly. You know, a platform like ChatGPT, now this thing is thrown at us. And we're
like now we know all these AI companies.
Thank you.
That have been building for a while. Thanks to who? Listen, these AI companies existed before ChatGPT became a thing.
Yeah.
But now we know about all these other companies because one of these disrupted all the models.
The entire system. And some of them are playing catch up now.
Exactly.
You know, so I think you are at a disadvantage when you put yourself to play catch up.
Right.
So rather be an early adopter.
Yes.
Ask questions, not to hate. You mentioned something quite interesting earlier on. There are those who jump in but to look for what to hate in that system.
Right.
So be the person that is willing to learn, to adopt along the way.
Yes.
In that way, you raise your value.
That's it.
You know,
That's it.
You cannot ask from an economy when you have not raised your value.
Don't ask for a raise if you don't have any value to give.
Absolutely.
If you're obsolete, well, you know what? You go down the drain as obsolete. You want more? Well, upskill yourself, because what you knew yesterday is not the same value today, and it will certainly not be tomorrow.
We could carry on this conversation forever and ever, John. It's been so fantastic talking to you, and there is so much we haven't even touched on yet, but there will be another time for this.
I'm here for this.
To unpack on so much, right? So if I may ask, what are your final words to someone somewhere who feels stuck and they want a fresh start, they want a new beginning?
Right.
Where to? What do they start? And you touched on something quite early on when you started business,
Right.
there was no money.
Right. Right.
You started
In my
being
experience,
resourceful.
yeah. In my experience, the advice that I will give to the younger me,
Yeah.
who is you watching right now, or somebody who's looking for an opportunity as part of his next era, or it doesn't matter the age, by the way, it could be 50 as well, could be 60. The KYC owner became a billionaire, actually, whatever, he made it at 60 something age,
Yeah.
65 something.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is this, right? The younger me should have learned a few things. Find a mentor very early on in your life, especially in your 20s. That mentor could be your boss. That mentor, in fact, you can find multiple mentors around your work, around your spiritual life, around personal life, and a variety of other things. Find a good mentor or coach very early on in the areas that you want to excel into. Okay? Learn as much as possible. Learn from their mistakes. In fact, find a mentor who appeals to you, to your values, to what you want to become in the future. You could outperform this master, this mentor, but learn from these guys very early on. Number two, between your 20s and your 30s, work at a company so you can amass a significant amount of skills. Because in your 20s, you just finished school, develop your abilities to solve problems by working under the guidance and the leadership of somebody else. That's exactly what I did. Go out there, learn. Whether you will learn for 2 years or for 3 years or for 5 years, in that process, in that time frame, learn as much as you can. But most importantly, remember, you start earning your first salary when you finish school, university, right? Learn how to save money as well. Read as many books when it comes to saving, understand money, understand its meaning, understand its momentum, know how to make more of it, know how to give back as well. But most importantly, saving. And as you save, learn how to invest. Now, learn as well how to delay your gratification. In other words, don't go out there and start buying into cars, buying into expensive clothes, and or go out there for spending time and in a lavish lifestyle. Okay, those are the things that destroy us as a black young kid who doesn't have a mentor, who's making money, but thinks that he's reached a top life for him to feel, to be seen. Those things will change when you get into your 30s. And stop spending unnecessary money on friends who do not see value in you. Number 4, surround yourself with people who see you as extremely valuable. You could be 20 and they see the value in you. Start identifying how many people see the value in you and what value are you giving back. When you identify that, you should be in a position to realize, oh, wow, a lot of people actually praise me for this skill, for what I do here. Start honing into that. Start learning exactly and how you can impact the lives of many people in your early age. I always tell my daughter, and I say, listen, you could become a multi-millionaire. You could become, in fact, a millionaire at the age of 25 by doing a few things I did not do when I was your age, okay? And when people look at me, they don't realize that I have a daughter who's actually 21 years old, right? And the thing, when they look at me walking with her in the mall, they think that I'm her boyfriend. Look, I'm just as young and whatever. I look, I carry myself well. I maintain myself. I don't drink too much alcohol and I don't smoke. But make sure that you are able to hone these skills and learn all these skills very, very early on. Now, when you are 30, start by doing it for yourself. So that's when you leave your employer. You've probably tried 5 different employers or 6 different employers or 2 employers in your 20s and 30s, between 20 and 30. But from 30 and 40, start doing the thing yourself. Now, make as many mistakes as you can, especially at the very beginning, right? Make as many mistakes as you can. In fact, do not fear. There's this thing that I love to fear is a false evidence of whatever, the A and R, I forgot what it is. But
false evidence appearing real.
There you go. Fear is a false evidence appearing real. Let me tell you one thing. The skills you've learned and the mentors you've had and the savings ability that you've had as well between 20 and 30 will give you enough boost and power to launch your business so that you can start doing it yourself, whether you're a freelance or a consultant or run a proper business or a startup, whatever that is, right? Do that between 30 and 40. You will make mistakes. It will not be right at the first time. You will try something that will not work. Don't fear that. go back to the drawing board, start something new, look at another project that you want to be able to solve, whatever it is, right? Look at those elements. Now, as you grow there, you will learn invaluable lessons that when you are between your 40s and your 50s, that's when you come back in life, between 40 and 50, now you know what you've learned from your masters or your boss or whatever between 20 and 30.
Yeah.
You've applied that for yourself. You've saved as much money. Now in your 40 and 50, you are succeeding in that business. You may have already succeeded in your 30s, right? But now it is for you to expand that business, for you to hire more people, for you to take it to the next level. But now when you are in your 50 to your 60s, start giving back to communities. That's what I want to do when I turn 50. I'm not 50 yet, but my journey towards 50, and that's why I've been working on my personal branding.
Yeah.
It didn't start today.
Yeah.
It started several years. It started in 2015. I've positioned myself so that when I get to 50, I want to travel around the world and empower people, speak at events, tell them about my journey, tell them exactly how I want to help them. I want to help entrepreneurs. I want to launch an academy, and like Tony Lombela, who inspires me a lot. I want to create more entrepreneurs. I want to invest in entrepreneurs. I want to create a fund. I want to create an entrepreneur academy. That is already in the works right now. It's in the back burner, right? It's part of the roadmap. And when I get to that point as well, in my 55 and beyond, man, I just want to travel the world, bro. I just want to travel the world and enjoy. And already I travel a lot, but I want to add more countries, 40s, spend time with my grandkids and whatever, and go around the world, but give back to community. That's the one thing I will tell, really. But in your 20s, you have the power to learn a lot of things.
Actually, from your teenage age, you don't have to wait till you're 20.
You don't have to wait till you're 20.
And this speaks in regards to the mentorship part. I would say it doesn't always have to be someone you interact with on a daily basis. With that.
Could also be a book.
It could be a book. That's a great example. And with the digital space, it could be someone you shadow online without ever even having to speak to them. There are so many people that have impacted my journey that they don't even know.
I've never had a mentor in my life until I knew the importance of a mentor.
Yeah.
And I started finding them online.
Absolutely. You may shadow someone online, and if opportunity presents itself, reach out to them. I think that's literally how we started, right?
Yes.
From online, and then we eventually meet up, and here we are. So the internet is such a powerful place that it can expose you to certain types of people that you otherwise would never have access to them.
Right.
That is great importance, of the internet.
Right.
But there are people that are misusing it.
Yeah.
They're on social media, but what type of content are you producing? And when we are kicking back on AI is feeding you what you are focusing on.
Correct.
That is how the algorithm works. So if you want naked women, that is what the algorithm will feed you.
That's it.
If you want people with a certain mindset, that is what the algorithm will feed you. So the question to you is, what type of content are you producing are you consuming online? Because that is going to shape your mindset.
Absolutely.
You cannot expect, there's a lot of talk around what we eat to be fit and healthy and all of that.
Yeah.
But there's less talk around our mindset. What do we allow inside of our mindset, right? Because when I log on any of my Instagram or, any of my social media, whether Instagram, LinkedIn or whatever, there's a certain content that comes to me because
you based on
that
what
is
you follow.
what I want,
So
for people who are more into celebrities, gossip, naked women or shirtless men, that's what you're going to see. And what value does that add to your life? I think that's the question. What value does that add to your life? What type of change do you want? New beginnings require you to start clicking on something else.
Correct. Change that as well. Force the algorithm to learn about the things you want to start consuming for the better for your own life.
Yeah.
Start changing your behavior. For example, I remember early on Facebook.
So digital change.
Yes, digital change.
Yes.
Digital mind change.
Yeah.
I remember early on I used to post pictures about my travels.
Yeah.
Go to the US, come back, I would bombard 100 photos, creating an album, and people are like.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, really. So I changed. I started repurpose my social presence.
Yeah.
And I've branded myself based on what I want people to know about me. So they can start consuming content about me in that space. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm in technology, fintech, I'm in blockchain. I speak at conferences, and I want to empower people. That's what I want people to know about me. But I had to feed that information, that those algorithms for a while to understand that John is that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And people that come to me, they come to me based on what I produce.
Yeah.
Those who consume my content, as much as I also consume other people's content and interact with them, it's based on the values that I share. So what are the values that you have? What do you want the world to know about you?
Yeah.
Want them to know that you are naked or you are whatever that is, focus on what you want the world to know about you. That's exactly how you will be able to start producing that content and also feed similar content.
Fantastic.
On your journey.
When we speak of new beginnings, change, fresh start, these are minor things that will catapult you into doing something better with your life by changing just the type of content you consume on the internet. It can have massive effect on your life.
Oh, you know what we say? Change your environment. Same thing. Change your digital environment.
It's important. Like I mentioned it earlier, right? A fresh start is not a place. It's a mindset. So when you change your digital environment, the type of content you're consuming, it will have a massive positive impact in your life. And I think we have come to the end of this podcast. I don't even want to stop talking. I don't even want to stop listening to Mr. Lombela talking. But we have to end it here for today. We promise you guys that more of this is going to come. Yeah. We are on a journey, and we want to go on this journey with you. The purpose of this podcast is really about empowering you. It's about you. It's about letting you know, hey, don't push technological conversations only to the IT guys. Don't push technological conversations only to people in the tech industry. Don't look at technological conversation as like, this is not for me. Everyone is being impacted by technology. So pay attention to what is happening in the world of technology. Whether you are in farming, whether you are in healthcare, whether you are running your own business, whether you are working for someone, whether you are in the IT department or you are not in the IT department, pay attention to technology. Even if you are cleaning the floor, there are robots that are coming into the marketplace that are cleaning the floor, and you will need to know how to use them. Maybe you become the supervisor for that. So there is no one being left out of this conversation. It is important for us to pay attention to technology and how it is disrupting the world at large. So my encouragement and advice to everyone, pay attention to technology. This is no longer a conversation reserved for tech experts or policymakers or business leaders. We are all impacted. And I am on this journey with you to be able to shift that perspective around the way we view technology and the way we look at technology. It is not about technology. It is about mindset. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next episode. Thank you for those who have stayed to the end of the conversation. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys next time. And thank you, Nicky. It was such a lovely conversation.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
It's a beautiful vibe.
Oh, yeah.
And I look forward to more. I hope you guys like this content and make us, help Nicky, help this podcast to really reach the ends of the four corners.
Absolutely.
That's the only way that we manage to get the world to know exactly about what we are working on. And so that we can actually bring more content and empower you to achieve more about your personal goals. Okay, thank you. Bye.